Welcome to Great Talking Entertainment. I am your host, KJ, and this is the podcast where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, then DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back, everyone, to the podcast. And as I continue on Netflix's new series, Eric, this is episode 5 spoiler review. As I've been saying since episode 1, you can either listen to this spoiler review episode by episode, or you can pause this. And before you pause that, if you guys could, like and share, and then watch the whole series, and then come back and listen to all my reviews of episode 1 through 6 spoiler reviews. So again, this is a spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Let's get it. Vincent and the imaginary character Eric are walking around in New York, basically looking for Eager. And if you remember, he said it's like a map. Like Eager really just drew New York. What he saw, he was just drawing, right? And he's using it, and his dad's using it as a map. And he noticed his son drew the sign symbol that homeless man used to tag. Because this homeless guy, like, takes spray cans and tags the walls. I mean, that's New York, right? Or anywhere. But that was the whole thing. And we also know this homeless man is protecting him as well. So the homeless man is trying to protect him from being sold by the drug dealer. And the thing is, he knows that homeless woman is up to no good, and I think he figured it out. And he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to have this kid just want to go back home, but Eager doesn't want to come home. And, you know, we learn things about him, like, example, as Eager's drawing on the walls in the subways where the homeless guy and him are staying at, you know, he looks at his dad as a monster, but he draws his mom so beautiful, and that guy sees him like that, sees it obviously, and he sees the pain and the emotions throughout Eager's drawings, because Eager's a quiet kid in this so far. He doesn't really talk. It's not because he's scared. He's heartbroken, and he feels alone again in this world. And this is now the episode where we get a perspective view of the boy, Eager. And in his world, in his mind, he just wants to fit in. He wants to be somewhere where it's safe or happy. He wants to be somewhere where he doesn't have to see two people who he loves fight and argue and look horrible. You know, in a sad way where, you know, it's not a happy home. And he just wants his mom to be happy, but obviously his son sees that black cloud that hangs above him, basically. And that's the view we're getting with this. Now, then this episode goes to the detective Michael, and we see him having a conversation with Elliot's sister, and Elliot's sister Caroline wants the detective out of the apartment because she's gonna go sell it, and she's blackmailing him. If you remember in episode 4, somebody sent the detective a copy of a photo with him and Elliot, and put a word I cannot say ever, but an offensive word on there, and it wasn't very nice, obviously. And it was Caroline that did it. She did it, and she's gonna let him know, like, hey, if you don't get out of this apartment and you make this difficult for me to put this on lease and get some money out of it, like, I'm gonna blackmail you with this stuff. And we see that the detective always just trying to tell her is like, hey, I wasn't the one that got him the disease. He got that from somebody else before they ever met. And he was just trying to explain like everything he can to her and just letting her know that he's on her side, he wouldn't hurt Elliot like that. And that's what that was about. And it was just very interesting to see that even that in that time, like again, the detective is like the hero, and he's trying to do the right thing, but everybody else, they want the right thing, but they don't want to be exposed. But the only thing to do the right thing, everybody has to get exposed, and that's where this episode is kind of building up when you see this type of interactions between any of the characters on the show. Then the episode goes back to the homeless man, and he calls Cassie and tells her that she can have Eager, but he wants the money, and it has to be hard cold cash, no checks, no credit card, no nothing, like in a bag or something, right? And then that means we see Cassie go see Vincent's mom, and she's like, look, I'm gonna use this stuff, but obviously Vincent's parents told the cops, told the detective, and because Cassie was not gonna meet up with this homeless guy by herself. Like, they're gonna have a lookout, and we're gonna catch this dude. And then in this episode, we see Vincent make a pit stop, and he sees like this puppet show outside, and it was because they were using his puppet Eric, and obviously they did the whole image wrong. He was mad at the color of it, the way they did the eyes, like it was nuts. Like, and if you remember, like they're Eric or Vincent's old friend like screwed him over, and it's just horrible. Like, they even his wife called him out on that stuff. Like, like, you don't even know nothing about puppets or being artistic or any of this crap. Like, Vincent's the reason why where you're at. Vincent's the reason why that show's so popular, and they just booted him out because of the situation. And that's what we're getting at. That now he wanted to get up there and start some havoc, but he didn't. He just went back to finding his son, you know, and he went back to focus on him. And also, this story of the corruption cop continue on, and it's just displaying the year and the era of this. And like, even the captain of the NYPD is telling like the detective in this, like, hey, you need to like chill. But just like any hero, when you push them to the limits, they're gonna snap, they're gonna get angry, they're gonna talk back, and they're gonna let you know the business. Because of that, they know about the homeless guy. They put it out in the public. And when they put it out in the public, that ruins the chance of them getting Eager back. And, if Detective Michael did not want that, he wouldn't even done that. And now he's getting pushed to the last straw of this corruption. Because, again, the only way that they can all do right and get this boy found and saved, basically, is everybody's got to get exposed. Because now in this episode, it's very heavily proven that Eager and the other boy, Marlon, are very heavily connected. They don't know each other, but it's by the same people who done to Marlon that they may do to Eager, because they think that the homeless guy and that did that, but we don't know that yet. But the truth comes out sooner or later. Then it goes to back to the scene where Vincent finds the spot where all the homeless like stay in the subway, and Vincent is looking for Eager, but then Vincent's demons kick in, and he decides to get high on on some narcotic drugs that I'm not going to say just for the rules of YouTube, but it was a heavy drug, and it got him so high that he collapsed on the floor. Because when the police came and raided, he was not stable to do nothing. Like, he just could not. He fell down. Like, and you know what's interesting? You see his self-conscience, which is Eric the puppet, and he's commentating it like, "Oh, you need to get high," saying like the reason why you're screwing up is because of you. So throughout this, his whole conscience is telling like, Vincent, you did this to yourself. You're the reason why your son's kidnapped. Just ways to guilt trip himself. And that's why he runs to these heavy drugs and alcohol. Then, like I said, the cops were raiding the place. Because they were supposed to clean up the spot where all the homeless at, which is at the subway. And the homeless man trusted the girl, but the homeless girl. But as soon as they're getting ready to climb that ladder up to the sewers, they slipped, and they both drowned. And that's how that episode ended. Now, I don't think Eager's dead. Now, this is a show, could be it, but if I wanted to guess, I'm just gonna predict. I don't think Eager's dead. I think he just fainted too. But I don't think the homeless woman made it, because and thank God, because the worst of the worst, they were teasing the idea of like that boy getting kidnapped by a pedophile in this, and it was kind of intense, but luckily it didn't happen. Now, this is a show where that could have gone that way because it's dark and gritty, but luckily they didn't do that. Now, what I liked about this show, or this episode, I should say, is I really enjoyed more of like what's happening to this kid and Vincent, because now it's like the battle between what I'm seeing so far is one doesn't want to be around the other, and the other wants to show the other person that they love them and they care and they want to change for them, and that's Vincent. Eager doesn't know that yet. Eager doesn't feel like he has a home. Eager feels alone. And so I believe that Eager is going to be alive based off of that too for this episode. That's just my prediction. But that's what I liked about this, because that's where I think it's going to go. I also believe that since the detective decided to see Gator too in this episode, and they decided to have a one-night stand, basically, I believe the detective has finally snapped, and I think he's going to expose them all at some way, somehow, because I think episode 6, I think, obviously, this is all the answers are going to be answered, and reveals are going to be revealed, basically. And I think this is the breaking point. We're going to see the two big stories finally have their chapter. The side story, which is the political, police work, corruption story, unfold and be revealed for the ending. And then obviously the relationship between Vincent and his son, Eager. I think this is going to have that like happy ending. I mean, they lost a lot, but they gained so much more. And it's going to be very interesting to see where this leads to. So if I had to give this a 1 out of 10, I'm definitely giving this a 10. This was a really good episode. I like it now. The stories felt more balanced out than the last one. It didn't feel like it was all over the place. This episode to me felt like They said enough in enough details to get to the point, but in a shorter way, and they stayed more focused on between Vincent and Ygritte. So I definitely thought this one was definitely better than episode 4 for sure. And again, everybody on that show is, man, they're killing it. Like, if this show don't win an Oscar, this would be nuts. Like, this deserves it, and a Tony Award if they can. I don't know, but I'm just saying, any award they can get every year, they deserve one of them. This show is really excellent, well put together too. So I definitely can't wait for episode 6 spoiler review. So that's my review. So thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Don't forget to sub and hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace